In this video, we're going to tell you exactly how Liverpool will dominate for years to come. The signs that Liverpool need to make changes are now more prevalent than ever. Trying to curb the effects of their age has been something Liverpool have definitely tried to do in the signings of Gakpo, Nunez and Diaz. But a new problem has occurred, and that is the midfield area and what Liverpool do after Virgil van Dijk. And as we did in this video right here, where we spoke about Man United in the next 3 transfer windows, we're going to do the same for Liverpool and let you know what this Liverpool side is going to look like in 2025. But first, a little bit of squad analysis. Let's crack on. Firstly, to be able to properly assess the needs of this Liverpool side going forward, we have to gain an understanding of the current contract situation at the club, as well as the ages of the players at the club. So let's talk about the contracts that are due to expire. In terms of 2023, the contracts that are up include James Milner, although currently he is someone that Jurgen Klopp has said that he wants to keep on for another year, but time, of course, will tell with that one. Adrian, who's 36, Firmino, who's 31, Oxlade-Chamberlain, who's 29, Keita, who's 28, Artur, who's 26, whose loan ends at the end of this summer, Thiago, who's 31, and Joel Matip, who's 31 as well. So Liverpool are going to be able to get a lot of players off of the wage bill in the summer, but at the same time they are losing players in which they have spent money on for free. Now you might think that's not that big a deal, but FFP anyone? Let me explain. So, for example, Liverpool will most likely be losing Naby Keita, who they paid $53 million for in 2018. Now, I know Liverpool fans won't be too bothered about losing Keita, but the point here is that they are effectively losing $53 million without any return on investment. And over time, that becomes unsustainable. For a long time, Liverpool have been the best club in the league when it comes to securing good fees for their players and being very savvy with net spend. But after Michael Edwards left, I don't think they have had that same acumen in this area. And if this is a trend that persists, it will limit how frugal Liverpool can be in the transfer market eventually. We've seen this with Man United, who are currently operating incredibly close to the line of FFP. I actually go into this in more detail on the ripple effect with Sam Peoples from United People's TV. We're also talking about the ownership there, so if you do want to check that out, then please do search the ripple effect. But you're probably all Liverpool fans, so you probably don't. All that said, Liverpool are currently blessed with a good FFP situation. The Liverpool Echo reported in November that Liverpool's FFP situation is extremely healthy and that they could afford to spend more than any Premier League rival in the summer. Over the past 5 seasons, Liverpool's net transfer spend puts them in 9th position amongst the Premier League with an overall figure of £216.6 million spent. To put that into context, Manchester City have spent £213.8 million, but it's worth remembering that Man City's gross spend is a lot higher. With that in mind, it feels likely that Liverpool will need to go big this summer as they look to rebuild to strengthen their chances in next season's campaign. So let's start with this summer's transfer window. It's blatantly clear that Liverpool want a midfielder in the summer, and there are murmurings here and there of Jude Bellingham, but we're going to stay away from Bellingham to give this video just that extra bit of zest for you guys to enjoy, not just hear the fact that Bellingham is wonderful. He is wonderful, by the way. I saw him a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, at a canter, he dominates games. But what if you don't get him? Maybe let's look into that. Okay, why are you talking to yourself, Jim? Not sure. Should you carry on? Yeah. Is retention going down? Probably. So let's have a look into other types of profiles and players Liverpool could get in this summer. Because this summer it feels like 2 new midfielders are required, with Milner and Oxlade-Chamberlain and Keita all set to leave. Quite possibly you might stick around with Milner, but he's a bit of a Swiss Army knife of a player, plays in lots of different positions. And again, you want to start moving forward. You don't want to be relying on a 37-year-old. Now, I know that none of these are nailed on starters, but Liverpool are losing squad depth here with their departures, and it's a great opportunity for Liverpool to add a new freshness to this midfield. So let's kick off with the marquee midfielder options, because I would expect that Liverpool would go all out for one marquee midfielder whilst looking to add depth with more sensible signings down the line. First up, Nicolo Barella. Transfer market have him down as a £61 million asset. Who knows if that's right or not? Let me know in the comments down below how much you think he would go for. But Barella would add a new dynamic to Liverpool's midfield and would offer Liverpool a new profile in midfield, which I think is needed, and also a reason that the Bellingham links are so strong. Inter could be in a problem position in the summer. They are set to lose two of their first-choice centre-backs in Skriniar and De Vrij this summer, with both of their contracts expiring. Inter also reported a loss of 121 million last season. This means that they may have to sell some assets to be able to buy new defenders. One of their best assets is Nicolo Barella. He's valued at 61 million, of course, but may be available for around 50 million if Inter are up for it and really need the cash. For that, Liverpool would be getting a 26-year-old midfielder who has been performing with undoubted quality for some years now. He's adequate at both chance creation as well as goal scoring, and is a player who makes runs into the box. This could be very useful in a 4-3-3. He also likes to play as a Mazzala on the right-hand side. Mason Mount. Now, Mason Mount has had his critics this season, and be that fair or unfair, he's still a very good player. Talent like that doesn't leave you overnight. He's been a victim and possibly a scapegoat at times due to Chelsea's struggles. I still think he has a lot to offer as a player, but it now looks like he may be on his way out, and I want to draw your attention to two tweets from Fabrizio Romano. These two tweets are just under 2 years apart, and it demonstrates just how much damage there has been done with Chelsea's handling of Mount, and how some fans, and I mean some, have turned on him. The first is from 2021, which states that Chelsea view Mount as untouchable. The second tweet is a tweet confirming that Mount has new representatives. This usually means that they are there to either help negotiations or facilitate moves. Usually, new representatives will push for a move due to the 20% that they're going to receive. So this could be troublesome for Chelsea as Mount's contract runs out in 2024, meaning they may lose him on the cheap this summer. This means Liverpool may be able to secure a marquee type signing for very cheap. Mount would add creativity around the box whilst also offering a lot of ways of pressing and off the ball value. He'd be perfect for the 4-3-3. I also think building for the future in a way that also offers Liverpool quality now is important for them, because they don't want to put all their eggs in the future basket, but at the same time want players that will be at the club for 5+ years. Also, if they are able to get Mount or Barella on a cut price deal, it opens up the potential for spending a little bit more on those future stars. So the first one, Gabri Veiga. At 20 years old, Gabriel Veiga is one of the talents that I'm most excited about in Europe right now. If you haven't watched him yet for Celta Vigo, be sure to take the opportunity if it comes along. He's having an unbelievable season in La Liga, reaching double figures for goal contributions, some cracking goals as well. Not only is he a goal threat, but he's also excellent at progressing the ball via carries or distribution. He kind of plays on that right-hand side, that right channel, but is so creative. He ranks in the top 7 for progressive carries in Europe, as well as the top 2% for successful take-ons. And despite only being valued at 8.5 million, he'd probably cost upwards of 40 million. But with the money that Liverpool can spend in the summer, it would be an amazing acquisition. Real Madrid and Newcastle are rumoured to be interested, but according to Fabrizio Romano, Veiga's representatives are advising him on a move to England. So, could Liverpool hijack that one? Right, let's call it pie in the sky, but we're going to talk about it all the same. Some will say that this is overly ambitious, but here's why Liverpool could get Gavi. La Liga have just blocked Barcelona's contract offer to Gavi, which means he now has to be placed back on a youth contract. It also means that he has lost his number 6 shirt. Therefore, a move could be possible if Barcelona's hand is forced. Also, Barcelona are very keen on bringing Lionel Messi back to the club, and if that was to happen, that would add more financial strain to Barcelona. At 18, Gavi is already good to go and a player very well suited to the Premier League with how much snide he has. Despite being slight, he has a nastiness to his game, and I think it would give Liverpool's midfield a nice bite and intensity. Let's move into January, and I think Liverpool will be in a position to assess the needs of the squad and how they fare after the first half of the season. This is a point in which they'll need to make important decisions on players already at the club. One of these will be Calvin Ramsey. When he signed, there was a lot of promise about him, but his injuries have meant that Liverpool can't depend on him and have to play Milner there at times. So I believe that they should give him the benefit of the doubt for the first half of the season before making a decision on whether to move for a new deputy to Trent. Liverpool may also need to look for a goalkeeper to take the second choice role to allow them to send Kelleher out on loan to prime him for when Alisson leaves. Right, let's talk about a second string right back first of all. Pablo Maffeo. Maffeo would be 26 by the time January comes around and would be a well-suited understudy to Trent. His stats aren't ridiculous, but they are never going to be when it comes to an understudy for a right back. Maffeo has made a total of 168 league appearances since first being loaned out by Manchester City in 2017. He's very dependable, and despite him having a contract until 2026, I don't think Mallorca would turn down 10 million for him. He could be an astute signing that takes the pressure off Calvin Ramsey. He'd be very much like a Shimmikas, but on the other side. Another option is Benjamin Henrichs, 12.5 million from Transfer Market at the moment. It'd be interesting to see how much they would get. I mean, Henrichs would very much suit Liverpool's playstyle by what he offers in terms of attacking dynamism and athleticism. He's currently 26 and would still be if he joined next January, and has been proving for RB Leipzig this season just how well-rounded he is. He's been deployed as a fullback, wingback, and even a central midfielder, giving that versatility in terms of squad depth. It would be huge for them. He could be pretty much the next Milner if really needed. His contract is set to expire in 2025 too, meaning by the time January rolls around, he may be available on a good deal in somewhere below the 20 million mark. Second choice goalkeeper isn't a particularly exciting position, but I'll tell you why it's important. Firstly, Adrian will be gone by the end of the season, and I know Kelleher is an outstanding prospect, but eventually he's going to want to move for first-team football, be that on loan or permanently. Especially with his compatriot and rival for the Irish starting goalkeeper spot, Gavin Bazunu, consistently playing for Southampton. So those of you who watch the Champions League will have noticed that Jan Sommer has recently transferred to Bayern Munich from Mönchengladbach, but by next January, he will very likely be replaced by a younger goalkeeper. His contract also expires in 2025, meaning that Bayern may look to cash in on him. He could be an excellent cheap signing that allows Liverpool to further develop Kelleher by allowing him to go on loan. Sommer is also an excellent keeper, so Liverpool fans wouldn't have to worry about his quality between the sticks. Mattia Perin is another option, currently valued at 3 million. He is currently the second choice at Juventus, and whenever he's come into the team, he's been quality, and you can see that. It feels pretty undeniable. He's just unlucky that Szczesny performs excellently for Juventus. Perin is a goalie similar to Sommer in the sense that you wouldn't have to worry about the quality of his output if he does come in, whereas if Adrian came in now, most Liverpool fans would be clenching those sweet, sweet cheeks that they have. I presume all the people watching this video have sweet cheeks. Just came out. Perin's contract is set to expire in 2025 and would again be a nice, cheap option. You're still thinking about the cheeks, aren't you? Okie doke, summer 2024. This window could be vitally important for Liverpool. By this time, Matip's contract will have expired, in theory, if he's not signed a new one, and so will Thiago's. At the same time, Van Dijk will also only have a year left on his deal, and so will Salah. This means Liverpool could need a midfielder, at least one centre-back, and a winger in this window. So, if you thought the summer of 2023's window was going to be important, think again. It's all about 2024. So, with Thiago leaving and the central midfield additions we've already put forward, I think a more defensive-minded midfielder will be what Liverpool need by the summer of 2024. Ibrahim Sangare, I can't believe no one has picked up this guy yet. If he's still available by 2024, I'd be going all out for him if I was Liverpool. He can play as an 8 or as a 6, but I think he's best as a 6, especially in a side that dominates matches. He's very similar to Thomas Partey at Arsenal in what he offers both defensively and through his technical output. He'd be 26 by the time he joins and would probably cost Liverpool around 35 million, but would be worth every penny in my opinion. Youssouf Fofana. Fofana would be another excellent option for Liverpool. He's currently 24, but would be 25 by the time he joins. He's been performing excellently for Monaco for a couple of years now, making over 100 appearances in Ligue 1 since signing for them in 2020. Because of the level of his performance, he's also found himself in the France squad, which isn't an easy task, but he isn't a nailed-on starter as of yet. His contract is set to expire in the summer of 2024 and could be a brilliant signing for Liverpool on a free transfer. Moving to Liverpool could also massively improve his chances of being a regular starter for France. In terms of centre-back, they'd probably need 2 centre-backs, so here's 2 that they should sign if they can. First of all, Bremer. Bremer signed this season for Juventus from Torino for a fee in the region of 37 million, but with Juventus' financial calamities and general bookkeeping errors, it may mean that Bremer will be available once again in the summer of 2024. He's been one of Juventus' best players this year, with his athleticism and composure on the ball being a big part of his game. He'd be 27 by 2024 and would be a very similar purchase to Virgil van Dijk when Liverpool first got him. I think it'd be a fantastic acquisition, and Liverpool could most likely get him with Juventus not in a position to haggle. if the dominance of the Premier League continues, this could happen. It's maybe unlikely. Time will tell. Ronald Araujo. At 24, 25 by the time that he would sign, Araujo is a quality centre-back who has a Champions League winning career ahead of him. And again, with Liverpool having the potential spending power under FFP rules, they could bully the likes of Barcelona and Juventus in the market and capitalise on their poor management. Araujo's contract is up in 2026, but as it stands, Barca won't be able to give him improved terms due to La Liga's clamping down. Therefore, he could become an option. A partnership of Bremer and Araujo would be fantastic to see, and with Konate as cover or even as a starter if he develops and continues to develop, and I expect him to, I think they could lead to quite a few trophies, to be honest. They should be very, very dominant. We spoke about Salah there. Sooner or later, you're going to have to replace this guy. We've saved the best and hardest till last here, as this is not an envious task. The important thing to remember with Salah is that they signed potential, not the finished article, and that's what we're going to try and do here. Viktor Tsygankov. Since signing for Girona in January, Tsygankov has been a revelation in both his creativity and goal scoring. The winger is excellent with both feet, has rapid pace and has a good game intelligence, which sees him make fantastic runs and display all-round excellent movement. I wouldn't sign Tsygankov this summer because he's still not properly proven himself in Europe's top 5 leagues, but give it 18 months and if his output is similar, then I think he'd be a great player to replace Salah with. Another great option, Moussa Diaby. This guy is getting better and better with every passing game. When he first left PSG for Bayer Leverkusen, I think there were some question marks around him in regards to maybe how raw he was as a player and whether or not he knew how to use his pace or how to add goals to his game. Now, 23, he's really starting to mature as a player and is finding ways to add goals and affect the game directly. I don't think it'll be long until he outgrows Leverkusen, and by 2024, I think he'll be ready for Liverpool, and he's still going to be only 24 when that time rolls around. Thanks for watching. If you want to support the channel, please do consider subscribing. Hello everybody, welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel. It's time to talk about the relegation battle. We're going to do what we did last year, which was have a look at the form, because I think there's a few things that are crucial when it comes to the relegation battle, because crazy things happen. Now, I'm going to predict it. I will probably be wrong, but it's always good fun to see, isn't it?